Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're going to look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much.
Star making. More like star f***ing.
Hello, start this gangsta stuff. Mr. Mother, thanks I get. Hello, I started this gangsta
Alright, okay, we're here. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. You find yourself listening to Ethan Van Sciver, 25-year veteran of the comic book industry, creator of Cyberfrog Bloodhoney, the Smash Indiegogo hit campaign, now the highest grossing crowdfunded comic book of all time. If you'd like to buy a copy of Cyberfrog Bloodhoney, the link is below in the description. I am the illustrator of Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and I'm a great big Star Wars fan. Now, one or two people come up to me and they say, Ethan, we are not yet subscribers of Comic Artist Pro Secrets. We have not yet subscribed to your YouTube channel. And we want to know, is there a better source of Star Wars gossip and information online? And I say, let's see, I don't know. They say, well, what about Star fucking Wars? Well, they call us incels on Twitter all the time. And I'm like, what's an incel? And they're like, well, it means involuntarily celibate, Uncle Ethan. I'm like, oh my goodness. Well, that is a crisis. You're celibate, but you don't want to be celibate. And they're like, yeah, well, we'd like to go check out this site. So I do. I'm going to check out this site for you. I'll find out. Guys, do subscribe to my channel anyway. I mean, subscribe. We want you to be a part of this community. I mean, we are not one of the only sites that can get you a girl. I'm afraid that's not going to happen like it will happen at this site, which is Star fucking Wars. That's fine. There are lots of gorgeous women on this site. Is that so? Let's meet one of them right now. Let's find out what. 6 hours later. By the way, look at this countdown, doomsday countdown clock till episode 9 over here in the corner. You have 536 days, and a half, to be happy. To be happy before Star Wars Episode 9 comes out. So enjoy those days. Here we go. Here's a beautiful woman. Common sense. Kathleen Kennedy isn't going anywhere. She isn't going anywhere. This is just common sense. What do you... Common sense. She's not going anywhere. Oh, really? Is that right? Star Wars rumor mongers and haters be damned. Damn rumor... but I'm a rumor monger. Damn me? Don't damn me. Also, haters. I'm not a hater. I'm a lover. Believe it. Star Wars boardroom boss remains in charge. We know that. Here is our SJW president of Lucasfilm presiding over a big panel of white men. How many white men are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. One woman. So we've got 2 women here, and then 12 white men, like the 12 apostles. It's beautiful. What a sight. What the... Dissolving heartburn, huh? Well, I could use one of those right about now. Oh, what the... All right, so one thing that you'll find is the Comic Artist Pro Secrets doesn't force you to look at indigestion adverts that cover up part of your article that you can't get rid of. That you can't get rid of it. I mean, how do you get rid of it? Where's the X? Where's the X? Not here. We'll work around the heartburn. Oh, it disappeared. Around the galaxy, Star Wars news and notes. One of the delights of stepping away from Google and social media over the last few days is that now that I've had a chance to take a deep breath and really take a look at all of the quote-unquote stuff. Who is this? John Bishop. Don't know him. That's been generated in one fell swoop. And as I poured myself a second cup of coffee, put my feet up, and attempted to stay away from the dark side as I read that stuff, he means shit. The truth of things became pretty common sense, particularly as I began to understand the Star Wars news with a doubly discerning eye. John, that's called confirmation bias. We'll enjoy it with you. So instead of having to medicate heavily after an initial foray into the news feed this AM, I give you some truth at least from my point of view, confirmation bias, via the hand of Wired's Alberto Rodriguez. Fantastic. So you chose the one article that we already debunked this article. This is going to be fun to actually go through this again. A mere 11 days ago, and in 5 paragraphs, my man knocked down a whole lot of sorry fake news, quote unquote, concerning the future of the Star Wars franchise. You should reread the entire thing before you move on to any other Star Wars news today. But below, I've copied and pasted my favorite of the month bunch as I resist the temptation to get the passage tattooed on my hand. Ready to be raised whenever someone starts whining. Wow, these people are insufferable. Let's go the ads on this site. Why would you do this? Why would you come here? Is Kathleen Kennedy leaving Lucasfilm? Source: random online gossip mongers. Probability of accuracy: not even slightly true. Oh, it isn't. Well, you must have some better information than we do. We have our ear to the ground. We have moles inside Lucasfilm. I have been receiving reports every day since the first week of Solo's release that Kathleen Kennedy was let go and will announce her replacement in September. I have had people report back to me from Lucasfilm meetings, lunches, where Kathleen Kennedy is panicked and everyone is panicked. In the Bay Area. It is indeed interesting that you have better information than the rest of us. But I'm curious. What do you know here? Not even slightly true. Is that right? Okay, the real deal. Let's start with something that's quite clearly wishful thinking on the part of a number of Star Wars fans. For the last couple of weeks, there have been rumors that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down as Lucasfilm president, with Marvel's Kevin Feige being named as her potential replacement. Now, again, we've read this article once before. We've debunked it, and it's weasel word language that it uses. Clearly, it has impressed the hell out of Star-Making Wars' John Bishop. He hasn't read it as carefully as I did. He has read it with hatred in his heart. With hatred in his heart for haters. He hates the haters. Damn them. He drank 2 cups of coffee, came back from a vacation, read one article that confirmed his bias, and he wants to tattoo it on his hand. Would you please? John, please tattoo this on your hand. I want you to always see this, okay? Whenever you are pleasuring yourself, I want you to remember what a dope you are. This is absolutely incredible. Kevin Feige being named her potential replacement. That is the phrase right there that makes this accurate, okay? This is to be blunt, complete, and utter bantha wash. You know what a bantha is, right? Yeah. It's bantha wash. So I guess that's the drippings off of the bantha after you give it a bath. Like bantha wash. Or is it the bantha shampoo? Is it the shampoo that you work into the banthas? That's a lot of shampoo that you work into the banthas for. I don't think that would be garbage, though. I think probably the drippings that come off the bantha would be the garbage that he's referring to. He says, look, we're trying to keep it clean and on topic. Yes, Solo: A Star Wars Story underperformed. It did underperform. It underperformed to the tune of tens and possibly hundreds of millions of dollars. It lost that money. It's not that it didn't make as much money as they wanted. I mean, that is true. I mean, losing money is the same thing in a way as not making as much money as one would have hoped. But it actually lost $80 million plus. People are telling me stop using 80 million. No, I'm going to use 80 million because that is enough. That's enough of a loss. That is enough of a humiliating loss, and Disney admits to it. It's probably lost closer to $300 million to date. But we'll say 80 million. We'll just go along with them. So that is underperforming by any standard. I think that is a kind word for what it is. He says, but that's just one failure after 3 of the most successful movies in recent history. And Solo had extenuating circumstances, namely losing its original... No, she fired the original directors. Again, Kathleen Kennedy didn't lose them. She didn't leave them in her pants and then throw her pants in the wash and then they went down the drain. No, she fired them. She hired them, allowed them to spend $250 million to make 85% of a movie that she decided she didn't like. She fired them and I thought murdered them, but she didn't. And then she replaced them with Ron Howard, who asked for at least another $80 million, as it turns out, in finishing the costs. But you know what? I think it was actually more than $80 million. He did remake most of the movie, from what I understand. Ron Howard is a professional. I think that he could, he probably tried to keep it as on budget, even though it was way out of budget, as he possibly could. But yeah, he did ask for more money, and that money was the direct result of Kathleen Kennedy's irresponsibly hiring two directors that she didn't understand. They probably just made her comfortable, like Rian Johnson did, until she saw that they were making a comedy out of this movie, a funny movie, out of the ridiculous script written by John Kasdan. And then she fired them. So that is actually her fault. The extenuating circumstances were a direct result of her incompetence, which forced a reshoot of pretty much the entire movie. The idea that Kennedy would be forced to step down after that, or that fans need to speak up to save her job, is ridiculous. No, it's actually factual. It is the way business is run. And I know that breaks your heart. I know that breaks your heart here. You, Alberto, what's your name again? Alberto E. Rodriguez. I know it breaks your heart, and by proxy, it also breaks John Bishop's heart. But you have failed. If your whole goal was to keep incompetence and inadequacy in the form of this woman at Lucasfilm, I'm very sorry. But the Fandom Menace is fully operational, and she has been removed. And you will cry around September when you find out that that's the way the world works. It's actually a meritocracy. As wonderful as it is to have a woman running everything, an inadequate woman is not wonderful. Not a woman who loses millions and millions of dollars because she irresponsibly hires and fires directors after losing and spending tons and tons of your company's money on a product that ends up being shelved on the cutting room floor. This is not a way to keep your job. And this weasel language here of saying it's bantawash because this is part of the rumor here. Notice how he does this. Rumors that Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down. She's not. She's been fired. She's going to be allowed to appear as though she's stepping down with Kevin Feige as a potential replacement. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. Nobody thinks Kevin Feige is going to be her potential replacement. In fact, he was asked if he would like the job, and he said no thanks. By the way, he didn't say the job isn't even open. He didn't say the job isn't open. It's Kathleen Kennedy. She's going to be there until the end of time. He said, no, I'm not interested. Isn't that interesting? Kevin Feige, in a position to know, actually accidentally confirmed that the job is available and he doesn't want it. We've only fantasized about it. We thought Kevin Feige would be great if he would come in, but we'll take Dave Filoni. The point is, this is weaselly language here. These are lies that are being reported in a ridiculous way. So as to convince you that this fact is untrue. This fact is untrue. That doesn't make this fact untrue, as you can see. It betrays a particular myopia that fandom engenders, the idea that the fans know best and have the inside scoop because they love the property so much. Now, we just know that the movie's garbage, and we know that it's lost a lot of money, and from that, most fans can imagine and can expect, I would say, whether they have inside information or not, that the president of Lucasfilm needs to go. She's making bad movies that are losing an awful lot of money for Disney. She needs to go. That is not because we love the property so much. We do know best, but it is just a matter of business. It's just a matter of business. Look at this ridiculous thing. Kennedy's position, at least in the eyes of parent company Disney, is pretty much secure. How do you know that? Who have you spoken to at Disney, you fool? Have you spoken to Bob Iger? Do you have contacts within Disney? Why wouldn't you betray them? Why wouldn't you say, we have secret sources at Disney? We have spoken to, we have asked, we have talked to. Here's a quote from. None of that. You were just making an assertion that is based on absolutely nothing, which is making me think, well, we'll get to that in 1 second. If she does step down for whatever reason, having lost a ton of money and being fired and being allowed to keep her dignity for whatever reason, something that's pretty unlikely. No, it's factual. It's going to happen. It's likely to be a personal decision that has absolutely nothing to do with pressure from corporate overlords. I had trouble saying that the last time, too, as I read this. Corporate overlords. I want to say corporate overlords. That's not just, it's a tongue twister. this is a nice way to cover your ass, because you do know that she is going to be stepping down in September. She is going to say, oh, it's because I don't know, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore, it's time to retire, go home to my husband, enjoy my life. That's what she's going to say, at which point you'll say, see, we told you so. She stepped down for whatever reason. It's a personal decision. It's not that she was fired at all. She was fired. We keep telling you. We're telling you exactly what's happening. We're telling you what's going to happen, and you're going to have to deal with that. But please do tattoo this on your hand. Back to John Bishop. I mean, thousands of words have been spilled on this, and I'm pretty sure none of it made more sense than the above graph. Unfortunately, however, that truth had some icy moments as well. Quote, if KK does step down for whatever reason, I really hadn't given that much thought, but given the intensity of the hate hurled at her, honestly, who would blame her for moving on, or who wasn't already blaming her to begin with? My guess, not a chance. And next year, after a critically acclaimed episode 9 rakes in a cool $1 billion, Kathleen Kennedy, one of the most successful people ever in Hollywood, will smile and resist the temptation to flip the bird at everyone who ever wished her ill. Hashtag in Kathy we trust. All right, so yeah. Thousands of words have been spilled on this because it is what's going on. This is Hollywood scuttlebutt. This is what people are talking about. It has spilled, just like everything has spilled, about everything that's going wrong within Lucasfilm. The problem with Lucasfilm is it is a chaotic ship right now. It is what is known as a house divided. Half of Lucasfilm is miserable. The other half are Kennedy loyalists. They are fighting. They're making a poor product. And the half that is not happy, the half that is aware, the half that are not Kennedy loyalists are leaking to the media about what is going wrong within Lucasfilm, such as the fact that they already believed they believed way back when that Solo was going to be a bomb. That got released to us early on, before we knew anything, before we had seen the first trailer. It was released to us, it was spilled to us, it was leaked to us through the media, probably from factions within Disney Lucasfilm who are not Kennedy loyalists, that Alden Ehrenreich was a problem on the set, and that Ron Howard was finding that he couldn't act, and they had to hire an acting coach to get him to behave like the Han Solo from other movies. We wouldn't have known that if it weren't for the fact that Disney Lucasfilm is a house divided, and Kennedy has divided them. We know all of these things. We know all of the complaints. We're hearing from bitter former directors who were fired for no good reason by Kathleen Kennedy, hired and fired. And in the meantime, we have the most inadequate director of all time, Rian Johnson, who made the very divisive. Now, you can say you like it, you can say that you don't like it, but what you can't say is that it isn't the most divisive Star Wars film of all time, The Last Jedi. He was handed 3 more movies. Why? For what reason? What kind of seppuku is that? What kind of Harry Carey is Kathleen Kennedy pushing Disney Lucasfilm towards? And for what reason? This is crazy. The fact that you would read this one article with absolutely no skepticism whatsoever makes me understand that no. And in fact, MakingStarWars.com or whatever this is, Star fucking Wars. How could you Star Making Wars? That's how you arrange this. That doesn't say Making Star Wars. That says Star Making Wars. If the question was, is there a better place to receive Star Wars rumor and gossip critically understood by anyone on the net than Comic Artist Pro Secrets? The answer is perhaps. If the question is it MakingStarWars.net? The answer is no, hell no. Garbage tier.
Hey, want to follow me on Twitter? Okay, cool. I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. Talk to you there.
What would I do without you guys? What would I do without my subscribers, my wonderful subscribers? I don't know. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, would you please? I want to be thankful to you as well. I want to thank you guys who support this channel by liking my videos, clicking the thumbs up icon. I want to thank you for subscribing and ringing the bell for notifications. Those of you who go above and beyond, who are super fans, who actually support the Patreon,
want to thank you too. Those are your names crawling up the side of the screen. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for everything that you do. Thank you so much to people who buy T-shirts, who have bought a copy of Cyberfrog Blood Honey. That book is making my dream come true. I've wanted to be an independent artist for so long, and you guys are making that happen for me as well. And I don't know, for that reason, we'll forever be bonded, and I will always produce this show. Thank you so much.